where is everybody?
Do we have class today?
I think so.
But, what's that notes?
Oh, there's a note there.
Yeah.
If you wish to know how to get a better grade, follow the clues that I've prepared for you. Begin at the museum where the brands are art. Signed, KR.
I wonder what this could mean.
Who's KR?
Kurt Russell, maybe?
Kurt Russell? Anybody? Anybody?
That'd be pretty cool.
But, I'm more concerned about, what this riddle means. Like, what should we do?
Well, I think there's actually a piece in the museum that this might be talking about. Have you guys ever been there?
No.
Well, I did research on it earlier this semester, and we should go there and find out, because I think that's where our clue leads.
All right,
Let's go to the museum.
Wait up!
Alright, Johnny, so what's this piece actually about?
It's about, tormented self-portraits, about corporate identity and such. I had to do it for a research paper for an art class last year.
Oh, that sounds awful.
It wasn't that bad, but I needed the credit, so...
It's all been there.
Yeah, exactly, you needed it. Hey, where's Zach at, by the way?
Should we wait for him, or?
Nah, he'll catch up later.
We'll be good.
Oh, he knows we're going to the museum.
Yeah, exactly, he'll be there.
Alright, let's find this piece.
This one right here. This is Tormented Self-Portrait. Tormented Self-Portrait, or Susie at Arles, a work composed by Ashley Bickerton, expresses the influence that corporations have had on our culture. The piece is considered commodity art, a theme where one uses everyday objects to make extraordinary art. Bickerton was especially influenced by Van Gogh's self-portraits, which he explained in an interview with Anna Dickey in 2014. The artist moved to New York City in the early 1980s, precisely around the time of the East Village art scene. This scene generally emphasized figuration, an art form that represents material in the real world. The Modern Museum of Art states that Bickerton consumed the brands that were to be put on the anodized aluminum boxes. The signature of a person named Susie Culturelux at the bottom left and right corners are a fictitious name of Bickerton himself. The artist signs the work with the brands he consumes, an authentication of who he is and what he consumes, or, in comparison of much like a person signs a contract in the business environment. The work makes us consider our own identity and grapple with the fact that we may not be more than the brands we consume. The idea is consistent with the concept of pop art and what Andy Warhol was trying to communicate. This might have been a possible influence on Ashley Bickerton at the time. What do we exist for then? Has capitalism brought us to superficiality, constricting us from practicing individualism and coercing us into conformity? With enough careful analysis, the viewer starts to obsess over these questions. Is this fallacy of intention, or skillfully achieved subliminal messaging? Bickerton leaves this to us. And that's about what I learned last year in my research paper.
Guys, I forgot the camera. So, did we find that art piece?
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh, nice. Well, what's it about?
Well, Tormented Self-Portrait.
No. We already went through that.
Alright.
Well, did we find the note?
What note?
I'm assuming there's supposed to be another note.
No, we didn't find that yet.
Oh, I haven't seen anything.
Let's look for a note.
Alright then.
Oh, guys, found it. It's right here. Remember a piece from 100 works. Go to the place similar to Ajiri. If the wind hasn't taken it, your next clue is there.
What could that mean?
I think I did a research on something similar.
So then where do we have to go?
We need to go to a bridge.
Hey, I think over at Muddy Run there's a bridge.
Yeah, that could work. We could head over
Let's try
towards
that.
east. Let's go.
So what do you know about this piece?
So I did some research in this modern to contemporary art course, and it was about this piece that was actually a Photoshop collection of different artworks, and the guy created it, and it was based on an old piece. So it's kind of cool, but one of the main things was water, bridge, and wind. So
So exactly where we're headed.
that's where I think we're headed. So let's get there. A Sudden Gust of Wind is a photographic piece created by Jeff Wall. It is a piece after Hokusai's Travelers Caught in a Sudden Breeze at Ajiri, which is a woodcut work created circa 1832. Both pieces are compositionally similar, as they contain people, trees, water, and objects flying into the breeze. While Wall's photograph may look very similar to Hokusai's, there are still several differences between them. The two main differences are the lack of a mountain in Wall's photo and that there is a lack of a water system in the woodcut. The most interesting thing about A Sudden Gust of Wind is that it is not a single picture, but in fact a collection of hundreds of pictures merged together to form one large composition. Wall spent approximately 5 months taking pictures and placing them into his desired background to create A Sudden Gust of Wind. The wind is the single most important element in this composition. Because this piece is created from 100 different images, there must be a unifying factor placed on all the images that makes them look like they came from the single photograph that you see. Laura Mulvey describes the wind as the cause of the event and its fleeting gestures, which creates a dialect between the instant derived from nature and the instant derived from the photograph. I do believe that Jeff Wall's A Sudden Gust of Wind will stand the test of time, not only because it is a comparison piece to Hokusai's Travelers Caught in a Sudden Breeze at Ajiri, but because of Hokusai's popularity with his most famous work, The Great Wave off Kanagawa. Also, because of how the photo was created, it can always be used as a comparison piece to today's use of Photoshop and other similar products and how that relates to art.
This looks like a good as place as any to start searching.
Yeah, it's close enough. Trees, water,
Yeah.
garbage.
No wind though.
Yeah, well, I don't really think that matters too much. But all right, let's take a look, see if we can find a clue.
Hey, look, $1.
$1.
Oh, this.
Ooh, $1. It's my lucky day, boys. There's a clue on it.
Is that our freaking clue?
It says, "Find the most wanted," and it points to George Washington. What do you think that means, guys?
Well, I actually did. Were we in the same class? Because I actually did a research piece for modern contemporary art too, and it was a nature piece, and George Washington was in it.
You know, I think I do remember seeing you.
Yeah, I think so. Do you think that could be it?
I sat in the back, so I don't know.
But that could be it. Where could that be, though?
I'm thinking Raystown.
Let's go to Raystown.
All right.
Ignore the messiness. Gotta get gas real quick, guys. Hold up. I didn't plan for this.
So I guess we're gonna be waiting. You want to tell us about your piece?
Yeah, alright, so basically this is what I've learned about it. Komar and Melamed are two Russian artists that sought to create a new style of art in the Soviet Union to combat the government-backed style socialist realism. Their creation is known as Sats art, a Soviet kind of pop art, and their piece is called America's Most Wanted, created in 1994. Due to the Soviet Union's lack of democracy, the artist decided to make the people's art, a comment on the Cold War dichotomy of democracy and communism that formally ended a decade earlier, but is still seen today. To accomplish this, Komar and Melamed surveyed thousands of people in New York City, asking them questions like, what is their favorite color? Do they like nature scenes? Do they like seeing historical figures in their art? And many more. The choices with the highest percentages of votes were composed into the most wanted series, and the lowest percentages of votes were compiled into the least wanted series. Both series were done for 11 countries, including the United States, Russia, and France. In America's Most Wanted, 88% of people wanted outdoor scenes, 67% wanted it to be the size of a dishwasher, a comment on modern consumerism, and just over 50% like seeing wild animals, which is why you can see a buck and a deer. But the artists also wanted to criticize the idea of the people's choice in the form of public opinion. The polls used in politics are easily manipulated by politicians to show what they want, not necessarily the actual data, which is why people have to be careful when looking at polls, statistics, and graphs. Just like public opinion polls are always changing, this work will not stand the test of time and could be changed every decade or so to be updated for modern values.
Some gasoline spilled out of the car, but that's okay, it always does. It's alright.
Shall we?
We'll go, man. Let's do this.
Man, guys,
Finally here.
let's go search for that clue. So, where do you think we should be looking for this?
I'm pretty sure I'm thinking of the place over there, kind of like on the edge of the lake there.
All right.
That's brilliant. That seems probably the best spot. Guys, come over here. Over this way.
Yeah.
See now, look. Look right about over there.
Yeah, right.
Now look at this.
It's like, it's perfect.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see it. You gotta, no, come over there, you gotta look at it.
Yeah, like right.
Yeah, here.
Right in this frame, you see it?
Yeah. Now, our clue has to be around here somewhere, right?
It has to be somewhere.
Guys, is that a sink up there?
What is that thing?
Right like there. A sink, come on. Okay, guys, we gotta get in the car. Let's go. I know where we're going.
I don't know, man.
No, come on.
Is that a sink?
We just gotta get in the car.
All right, whatever you say, man.
Take it the sink.
Take the sink with
Bring in the sink. Let's go. Where the hell's that? We don't need the sink. Dude, what are you talking about? We need this.
We do?
Yes.
All right.
It's a clue.
Put it in the truck, man. Hurry up, we gotta get going. I can't open it.
Go.
No, it doesn't fit. Shit. Come on, man. Is it gonna go? Good. Let's do it.
I'm locked out.
No, unlock it. Seatbelts. So we can always put on your seatbelts.
Secrets.
Calm down. All right, let's go.
So why are we here?
Okay, so like you guys, I too studied in artwork for modern and contemporary art.
Really?
I mean, I kind of like the class, but from what I know about the arts,
Robert Gober began work on his contemporary art piece titled Site-Specific Installation at the Dia Center for the Arts in the early 90s, before finally unveiling the creation in 1992 in New York. The piece encompasses a room roughly 50 by 50 square feet in length, and rather than fill the entire space, Gober chose to concentrate around the walls, leaving the interior of the room fairly void. The walls themselves are covered in a wallpaper which is printed to show off a realistic, lush forest, and these forests cover the entire space aside from the floor and ceiling, which are left empty. The entire scene encompasses a very dystopian vibe to it, which provides an illusion of freedom despite actually being imprisoned within the space. The tranquil nature scene offers aspirations of the ability to choose our own fates in life, which are conflicted by openings with jail cell bars that kills this notion of decision. Sinks line the walls, which may demonstrate that we are only being given a small stream of what the world truly offers us. While outside the room, there are vast bodies of water, wealth, knowledge, but we, the inhabitants of the space, are only given what trickles in through the sinks. A connected pitch-black hallway seemingly leads to nowhere, showcasing that while there is a way out of this reality, there's an escape from this. The unknown is more frightening than what we are currently offered. The work ultimately shows a viewer a grim outlook on our society, while acting as a commentary of our world.
So, what are we missing here, by the way?
So we've got the sink.
We've got the forest,
Sink, forest, what else is there?
What's in your work?
some newspapers. They don't really seem significant.
No, definitely not.
But there's some prison bars. Maybe that's what we're missing.
We could go to the prison.
I don't think it's at the prison, but
We going to the bar?
I don't.
Go to the bar.
We could, but it's like 4 o'clock. I don't think we should go to the bar.
5 o'clock somewhere.
But you know what? I know a place far worse than prison.
Where's that at?
Come on, I'll show you.
All right.
What's this? Another note?
Oh, let's see what it says. It says turn on the projector screen. I think this is RA, guys.
It's the moment of truth. Let's see. What? Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Wait, guys, come here. I think we know who KR is now.
Oh.